Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
Some roads and businesses have been closed because of continuing weather conditions.
But one thing staying open are bars, as they expect to see people out and about celebrating the new year.
Valley News Team's Katie Opperly joins us live from downtown Fargo, where the New Year's celebrations are underway.
Yeah, guys, I'm in downtown Fargo, just off of Broadway Street, and I am seeing plenty of people down here, no matter what the weather is. In fact, I've seen people bundled up, but actually running inside the bars to escape this cold because it is chilly. I was also talking to some local bars in the area, and they said that they're expecting usual numbers for the new year. They said in years past, they didn't have as many people coming out because of blizzard-like conditions, but they don't think that'll be the case tonight. They think that there will be plenty of people out and plenty of people celebrating. I also spoke with some people in the area, and they said that tonight's all about celebration, and they're not gonna miss that. They also said that it doesn't matter what the weather's like outside because they're going to hurry inside the bars. So they're not really concerned about the weather. But one thing they should be concerned about is the parking downtown. As you can see from these winter storms that we've been having recently, there are massive snow mounds alongside the road, and it's causing people to have to park way off where they normally would. They're having to park actually in the middle of the street, and it's blocking traffic. It's having to have people actually collide almost when they're trying to cross each other in the middle of the street. So it's just recommended that you don't drive at all. Take an Uber, take a Lyft, or find a ride to downtown if you are going to come out, because it's not worth driving and not being able to find parking. And also it keeps you from getting behind the wheel and driving after you've been drinking. For now, in downtown Fargo, Katie Opperly, Valley News Live.
Thanks, Katie, for braving the cold weather.
With hundreds of people out celebrating tonight, longer waits and surging prices on sober rides home can be expected, especially around bar closing time. But what happens if your sober driver doesn't get to the bar before last call? One West Fargo bar says they will not kick you to the curb on a night with wind chills near 40 below.
Don't get it twisted. I'm going to try to get you out of here as fast as possible. But if you're waiting on the cab, if you're waiting on your ride, I'm patient.
City officials say alcohol must stop being served at 2 o'clock and customers can hang around until 2:30 a.m. But not every bar in the valley will let you wait around inside. In tonight's frigid temperatures, frostbite can start setting in less than 10 minutes. Although consuming alcohol makes you feel warmer, it actually increases your chances of hypothermia and frostbite.
No let up from Old Man Winter these days. 2 blizzards in 4 days. Robert Hahn, we're looking for some good news in the forecast. Got any?
It's going to take a little bit to get to that good news, but I do have some good news. But right now, it's just cold news out there with temperatures well below zero across much of the region. 20 below zero in the Thief River Falls area, and not on this map to the southeast of Thief River Falls, Fosston right now, minus 24 degrees, and we still got a lot of night left to go. It's minus 12 here in Fargo. Those winds generally out of the north, still at times gusting upwards of 20 miles per hour, creating wind chills as cold as 40 below in Langdon and Devils Lake, minus 33 here in Fargo. Visibilities continue to improve. Hardly a cloud out there, and with hardly a cloud, no precipitation to worry about, but we do have the wind chills to worry about. Wind chill warning all the way through noon on your New Year's Day for wind chills as cold as 35 to 45 degrees below zero. I do have some good news, though, on that 7-day forecast, and we'll get to that here in just a few minutes.
Can't wait. Thanks.
You got it.
We have another example of North Dakota and Minnesota nice in action. It involves the man we reported on earlier tonight. He's the one on his way to Philadelphia when he encountered car problems and wound up stranded at the rest stop near Moorhead. He is no longer there. He's at the Travel Lodge and Suites in Moorhead. After seeing our story, he says a family came and rescued him and took him to the motel. Ransel Guzman says he's feeling incredibly grateful for the surprising change of scenery heading into the new year.
I feel like if they are my family, like I feel like if they are my blood. See them that they show up like that, like, hey, we're looking for you. Like, that was the first word. I say, wow, I'm here, you know. He said, okay, come on, let's go. I'm gonna take you to a motel, you know. You don't wanna sleep here no more, you're gonna be better. You don't wanna sleep in the floor. I cannot let you sleep in the floor, you know. that like give me like some happiness, you know. That made me feel real good, you know.
There's no word yet on when Guzman will be able to continue his journey back to family in Philadelphia. He still has a car that he says is overheating.
New information tonight on that fatal crash this afternoon south of Fargo. One person was killed on Interstate 29 in the northbound underpass of Exit 48. 3 vehicles were involved. Authorities say a Ford pickup, a Dodge Caravan were northbound in the right lane, and then they were passed by a large vehicle which created whiteout conditions. When they slowed, a semi struck the Dodge, pushing it into the Ford. The male driver and the lone occupant of the Dodge van was killed. The occupants of the pickup and semi were not hurt. Names aren't expected to be released until tomorrow.
One person was given a ticket after a 3-car crash mid-afternoon in Grand Forks. Police say the driver of a Chevy Silverado lost control on the Columbia overpass, striking 2 vehicles heading in the opposite direction. The driver of the Silverado was taken to the hospital for non-life-threatening injuries and then cited for care required.
North Dakota's Department of Transportation says vehicle fatalities have decreased this year from 116 deaths in 2017 to 103 this year. 31 of the crashes this year were alcohol related. That's down from 55 the year before. The DOT partnered with multiple law enforcement agencies hoping to prevent alcohol-related crashes. Now keep this in mind for tonight. Lyft is offering the first 1,000 customers in North Dakota a $10 ride credit until 2 a.m. using the code VISION0ND. The short-term goal of Vision Zero is to reduce the annual vehicle fatalities in the state to fewer than 75 by 2025. Here in the Valley, there's just a few hours left in 2018, but for more than half of the world's population, it's already 2019. In New York, particularly in New York Times Square, more than 7,000 police officers are keeping watch with sniffer dogs and surveillance cameras. Even with the rainy weather, hardcore party people gathered early in Times Square, braving the rain, crowds, and a shortage of bathrooms.
Is that going to be fun?
Yes. Depends if our diapers fill up or not.
Are you wearing diapers?
Yes. 100%.
For many, Times Square of New York is a dream come true. Some have traveled from far and wide, all to give 2019 an extra special start.
We're getting married in 2019 and we wanted to start the new year off right.
Yeah. So you're celebrating your wedding by standing in the rain for 14 hours?
It's true love. True love.
Exactly.
Democrats introduced legislation at the Capitol earlier today that would reopen the federal government when they take control of the House Thursday. One measure would include money for the rest of the fiscal year for a variety of agencies like the state and justice departments. The other would fund the Department of Homeland Security, but only through February 8th, and includes $1.3 billion for border security. Even if the Democrats' plan passes the House, it also needs Senate approval. And the Senate's Mitch McConnell warned that his chamber won't send any bill to the president that he won't sign. Republicans have pitched a compromise that keeps the president's $5 billion for the border wall in exchange for temporary relief for young immigrants in the DACA program.
We have to have border security, and the wall is a big part of border security, the biggest part.
Without a deal, hundreds of thousands of federal employees remain in limbo as the shutdown stretches into day 11 tomorrow.
A special cleanup crew in Minnesota is helping dispose of Christmas trees. For the past 5 years, the trees and wreaths, too, have been dropped off in Faribault, Minnesota, for the unusual crew called Goat Dispatch. The trees are collected for employees there, and then you can rent out goats to clean up all kinds of vegetation. As you can imagine, Christmas brings a winter treat that nearly 400 goats will chomp on.
So actually, goats do a really good job of managing vegetation in the winter, especially buckthorn. That's like Minnesota's #1 plant that everyone's working on. It's just kind of amazing how we give them free access to alfalfa hay, one of the top quality hays. They have all this land to eat from, yet they still love to eat the Christmas trees as well. So we give them a choice.
Last year, the goats enjoyed more than 300 donated trees.
That really is perfect, isn't it?
Yummy, yummy.